Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today I want to talk about powering up your account in War of the Visions. Where do you get power from in this game? What are some quick ways to power up your account? What are some long-term approaches to powering up your account over time, staying up on that power curve? And most importantly, how can you get to the point where you're clearing brutal level missions, nightmare level missions, killing those hardest to fight Esper fights, getting competitive in PvP? We're going to deal with those issues in this video. I'm going to give you some tips that I wish I would have known as a brand new player, so you could enjoy this fantastic game. If you're a new player, welcome. This game is great. I want you to enjoy it as much as me. Here's some tips to help you get started. Okay, first thing. Units. This is the most obvious area where you get power. You should level up the units that you want to level up, but focus on leveling up your first group. And I think your first group should be a 5-man PvE group. That group should have a tank in it, and in this case, I'm using MR Mont right here as my tank. This dude is completely free. There are bingo boards, they're called challenge missions in this game. You will get all of the shards, all of the stuff you need to level up this guy through those bingo boards. He can serve as your very first tank, and he can do that without you having to commit Visior to him, so you can save that valuable resource for leveling up and acquiring other units. So I think leveling up Mont is like my first tip. Just do it. He can be your very first tank. Also, Lucio, I call this dude the freemium unit in the game. He is the best free unit that we've ever gotten, and you acquire him in the far plane by clearing the Warrior of the Crystal side quest. So you just go into events right here, and you'll have to clear these as you power up. You won't be able to do them all now right away, especially the X quest, but just clearing these, another story that'll give you the unit and begin giving you the materials so you can level them up. Absolutely, you should push that content as hard and fast as you can to get access to Lucio, a top tier bruiser slash tank slash high damage unit who's great in PvE and PvP. You will also want to build a support unit. I have Ayaka sitting here as an example, but the really hard content in this game, you're going to want a healer for. You're going to need somebody to keep your Mont alive or whatever tank you're building alive. Then fill in the rest of your group with some DPS units. For example, if you started playing during the Final Fantasy VII collaboration and you're just all about getting Cloud, put Cloud in your group. You're going to be leveling him, take advantage of that, and build a group that complements him well. And then fill in one other DPS unit. I use Sorel as an example right here because she is a farmable MR unit. More on that later, but your very first group in the game could look something like this. It does not need to be all UR units. The MR units in this game, especially like Sorel and McLeod, are really good. So something like this should be a target of your first group. Now, how do you get units? I talked about how to get Mont. I showed you how to get Lucio, but what about the units that are like coming out, the new units, the ones that aren't free? You're going to go to the summon tab to get them, and there's two reasons to summon, or there's two ways to go about summoning. First of all, if the unit is new and just coming out, it is on banner, you're going to do targeted summoning for them. Here's Sylvie right here, so if you wanted Sylvie, you'd come in here and pull on her banners. Which banner you pull on depends on how you want to go about it. I have a guide about this every Wednesday, right when the new stuff comes out. I talk about which banners I like and don't like, and I also go over that in all my poll videos, so just check those out. It changes week by week, but here's the easiest way to get a new unit, and the best time to build a unit, the easiest time to build a unit, is when they are currently on banner, because that's when their shops are in the game, that's when their bingo boards are in the game. So by far, if you're going for one of the new units, try to finish them before their banner ends. So you basically have 18 days left to finish Sylvie if you pulled and summoned for her right now. Then another great area for new players to pull is do the new player pulls, those ones that give you like guaranteed URs, all of those. You should do those every day. Those are fantastic. But there are occasionally very, very high value banners. For Black Friday this year, we have this select UR unit guaranteed 10 times pull. This is a banner that will let you select a UR unit. So you click this summon and you get to come through here and pick any one of these UR units that you want, including the 100 cost units in the game like Ruinstern, Black Rose Helena, Leela the Bold, Oberon, all of these really high value units. This is the best way to get an off banner high value target. So say I really just wanted Jaden Rundall to pair with the Sylvie that I just pulled. I'd come in here, I'd pick Jaden, I'd hit confirm, and I'm going to spend some paid Visior. It's going to do a 10 pull, and these will be the best pulls you ever do because these pulls are nuts. Like, look at this gold book. It's going to be 10 units, every one of them a rainbow. I'm going to hit skip because this isn't a pull video, but look at what I got. This pull was insane. I got the Jaden that I wanted. I also got 2 other 100 cost units. I got Rain, Oldie. There's so much value from that pull. Those are amazing. Now, a side little new player tip right here is if you are spending money in this game, switch to the Amazon App Store as fast as you can. Yes, this is a sponsored video, but yes, this is also a genuine new player tip. If you live in the USA, the UK, Germany, or France, and you're playing this game, play it on Amazon. Play it on Amazon. You're going to sit like the $100 pack of coins only costs $82. You save up to 20% all the time. This is a sponsored video by them, but it's also a tip that I would just give to everybody. The Black Friday deals are still running right now through the 29th of this month, where you will get an additional 3% back on all your spending. And if you need to know how you exactly go about switching, the directions are in here. This will show you where to download the game, all of that. And if you do ever buy some Amazon coins and you use this button right here, some of the money comes to help support my channel. It doesn't all just go to Amazon, so I really appreciate that. You guys like how I smoothly tied that promo into this video? Anyway, it is a legit tip for new players, and you're gonna want, if you're playing this game forever and you're not a free-to-play player, there are very good areas to spend your paid Visior on. That banner I just pulled on was definitely one of them. So click the link in the description of the video or pin in the comment section and help me out. Thank you. Okay, let's continue talking about units. I want to show you the next way to go about acquiring units, and then just give you one sort of mindset tip about the game. If you go into Key Quest right here and scroll, whoops, sorry, wrong button. You go to Farplane Archive and then go to Unit. This is where you can build McLeod, Rennell, Sorrel, Crazy, or Etra for free. You need to be able to farm these. Your team needs to be strong enough to actually go farm in these, which some of it is hard, but these are units that you can start working on. As you collect Farplane Archive keys from login rewards, I think that's the main way we acquire them right now. I highly recommend McLeod and Sorrel. Sorrel is a wind DPS unit, McLeod is an ice DPS unit. These are top tier MR units in this game and can be very powerful allies for your early teams, especially if you're running short on Visior and just kind of need some more power. Once you can farm these, farm them up. These are really good units, and that's one way to acquire them in the game. Okay, let's go back to this formation screen. I want to give you one last tip about acquiring units. This is a tip that a JP YouTuber named Cabbage gave 3 years ago. When we were when no one had played on Global yet and we were all watching JP YouTubers, he said, hey, look, this is a gacha game. It's going to give you something all the time. Every time you pull, you're going to get stuff. And especially if you're somebody who doesn't spend money, so you can't get those select units like what I just showed you, the game's going to give you things. It will really help your mental sanity if you just say, hey, look, the game gave me Black Rose Helena. I didn't know I wanted Black Rose Helena, but she's a good unit. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and build her up, and then maybe eventually I'll have a dark team. The game's going to give you stuff. If you could just accept what the game gives you, as well as targeted summon for the units you want, you're going to be in a better mental place. So that's kind of my last little tip right there, is just gacha games give you stuff. It's not always what you wanted, but you'll always get something. Be willing to roll with the punches in a gacha game. Okay, that's how to acquire units. That's some tips about where you can find some. Again, Mont and Lucio can be the core of your very first team. You're going to want to find a support unit to pair with them, and then just 2 other units that you really like, or you could go for that MR farmable route. These are pretty tough to farm. I'm just going to tell you, they're not the easiest things in the world to farm. Okay, what's the next area that you acquire power from? Oh, real quick, Orange A from the future here. I forgot to mention there is another way to acquire units that is totally free, and that's in the Mog shop under the friend medals and guild medals. In the friend medals, which you should absolutely max out your friends list as quick as you can with people that give you friend medals every day. For 2,000 medals, you can get Ildira, Mashari Horn, or Kitone for free. Of those, I think Ildira is the best one. She's a calculator, AoE magic damage, big AoE heals. She's a very useful water element support unit for your group. Really like her a lot. I think she should be your first focus here if you're going for it. And then in guild medals, you can get Giza, Whisper, or Luartha for free. Giza is by far and away the highest value target here because of her Trustmaster reward. Giza's bells gives you AP auto restore on your unit. It is a top tier Trustmaster in this game, and we're going to talk about gear in the next part of this video. This is a very important piece of gear, so I would highly recommend maxing out Giza as quickly as you can for those bells. You can get her and her shards in this shop every day. Okay, let's get back to the gear part of the video, which is coming up right now. Okay, equipment. Now, when we're talking about acquiring new equipment in this game, keep in mind my focus is on you going for +5 pieces of gear. I know some people don't bother with it, but it's really not that hard to get +5 pieces of gear in War of the Visions these days, especially with background farming and the fact that for 2,000 Visior, they are often just offered up in the shops. And if you want your team to be strong enough to clear the hardest PvE missions in this game, or to be slightly competitive in PvP, you're gonna want +5 pieces of gear. Let me show you how to get them. Now, the first way to get them is to go into the far plane. Every week, there's gonna be a new farmable piece of gear. You're going to come in here, like this week, it's these Martialist Fist Guards. These are what's farmable right now. Once you can clear this unit level 80 quest with your auto team, you can simply come in here, hit background repeat, and have your team just farm this for a day. Spend some of your energy pots, farm out the piece of gear. You want to get at least 64 recipes. 63 will build a +5. 64, you want that 64th recipe on hand for someday being able to make it into a +6 if you want to, but go farm 64 recipes of the newest piece of gear. Also, when you're farming that new piece of gear, the drops that are in the mission are also the things that the piece of gear requires to build it. So these are very high value farming targets while you're building out your gear repertoire, right? There are other ways as well. If you go into the shop every week, there's going to be a brand new shop in the game. They come out on Wednesdays. Right now, we have the Global Festival shop. If you look in this shop, well, this is a bad example because no new piece of gear came out this week. But if you go into the JP 3rd Anniversary Part 1 shop when the new Fist Guards came out, there is a +5 Martialist Fist Guards Assault Pack for 2,000 Visior. I know you're really going to want to spend your Visior on pulling for new units and vision cards, but if you don't have the energy pots, or you're feeling lazy during a week and you don't want to go farm the new +5 piece of gear, just buy it for 2K Viz. It's free Visior, it's a +5, you don't have to farm the thing out. Go get it. Get yourself +5 pieces of gear if you want to push this game's content to the max. Here's a really easy way to get it. Now, if you need gear that is not currently farmable or currently purchasable, another way to go about getting it is once again in the events tab in the far plane. So you could come into key quests. There are pieces of gear in here. These are not the best ones in the game. This is a nice two-handed sword. You got an accuracy piece of gear here with the wolf hat. Either way, you can use these keys. You'll get these from login rewards and stuff to unlock these pieces of gear you can farm. Okay, this deserves a whole video in and of itself, but TLDR, Spirit Pin high accuracy glasses, a old piece of armor that has slash resist and a lot of defense on it that I don't recommend, a decent evasion hat, a two-handed sword with slash resistance on it, and a sort of good accuracy hat. Honestly, this isn't the best spot. The best spot's in the Far Plane Archive. If you get Far Plane Archive keys, right, the same place you go to farm out these new units, there are also very good pieces of equipment in here. The Tiger's Claw, one of the best striking weapons in the game, one of the best spears in the game. Thornlet's a really good PvE item. Magic-based gun, an element attack up belt, a great staff for especially light and lightning mages, something to kill Ibarra with, a spirit penetration mace, a slash penetration dagger, a healing wand, another thing to, I don't remember what, this is the thing to kill a bar with, I think. Anyway, a great one-handed sword, a great axe, a magic fist. Like, look, there's so much good gear in this equipment Farplane Archives area. And most of the gear, once it's been out for a little bit, is added here. So this is a great way to go target farm a little bit. I'm not going to spend any more time just rambling on about this stuff. Don't ever feel bad about wasting these keys to farm out either a unit, like to finish off McLeod or Sorrel or something, or to farm out a new piece of gear. The keys are here to be used. Use them. That's the other way for acquiring gear. And I believe that's my tips. For me personally, I just farm out on auto. Like, background repeat is an amazing feature. It just got added to this game. It is so easy to just farm out enough recipes to build the gear with background repeat, as long as you have enough energy restores. Okay, let's move on to the third area. It's actually a combined third-fourth area. We're going to talk about vision cards and Espers next. Oh, once again, Orange A from the future, cutting back in, this time to the equipment guide part. And I have one of my biggest tips that I totally forgot to mention is what to do before you can farm out a +5. Guys, build a +0 before you can build a +5. For example, I do not have a +5 platinum armor. That's really hard to farm. But with most of this gear, like, this is a +0 platinum armor. All I did was get one recipe, build one recipe, and I have a 683 HP piece of armor with 20 defense and 4 spirit. Sure, I don't have the additional effects that I would get out of making it a +5, but as a way to bridge the gap between literally nothing and +5s, build +0s and level them to 50. Those are really, really good bridge pieces of gear. There are so many out there that can do this, but that can be a way to just temporary, like, placeholder gear for until you can fill it in with the good stuff. So there was a quick tip I wanted to shout out. Okay, let's go back to the vision cards and Espers part of the video. Okay, so I've talked about where to get units and which ones you should kind of think about going for. I've talked about where to get gear. Let's talk about where to get vision cards and Espers, the last two pieces of power for your team, and the two pieces of power that really separate, like, the big dogs in the game from the little dogs. In this part of the video, there are both long-term approaches, which are just unavoidable, and there are short-term approaches that you should take advantage of well. Let's first talk about vision cards and the short-term approach. If, in theory, you are starting during the Final Fantasy VII collaboration, you're going to want to get the Final Fantasy VII collaboration vision card maxed out. Scorpion Sentinel. Again, in this imaginary account, your main boy is Cloud. You went and pulled for him, you're leveling up, you're getting him a piece of gear. He wants this vision card. So, just like units, when vision cards are on banner, this is their best time to build them up. And like collaboration and limited time units, you can't get them when the event's not running. So you should absolutely get Scorpion Sentinel in this example and max it out. It's going to give your lightning elements in your group 50% attack up, critical hit rate up, slash resist up. The unit wearing it gets all these buffs right here and gets this insane amount of stats. This is a huge power spike to Cloud. Putting this card on him will make him so much more effective as a unit, and it will make all the rest of the lightning element units in your group also effective. Say you used one of your select pulls to get a Charlotte. Okay, that's a great lightning tank to pair with him. She's also going to benefit. Let me go ahead and just equip it. She's also going to benefit from this Scorpion Sentinel card in your group. And then say you go over to WoTV Calc and you're like, what other vision card do I want? Ooh, you know what looks really good for Cloud and Charlotte is Esther's vision card. I really want the dreamiest of eggs. Here's where the long-term approach comes in. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to just immediately go get this card and slap it into your group. In this case, this is a limited time vision card that's only out during Global Fest. So you'll have to wait for a Global Fest to roll around. There's one about every couple months. Then make sure you have some Visual ready. Go get and max this card out. And now your Lightning Element team or the Lightning Element units in your team get slash resist piercing rate, max HP, unit resist, attack up. You get all these stats for the person wearing it. You gotta take the long-term approach with vision cards. Unfortunately, they're just not all out when you start playing the game. They're just not. Sure, you might be able to go select one, like here's Solir versus Raychez. This is a very, very good lightning element card. You might be able to select this with a select ticket and then slow build it, and then once it's done, yeah, you have yourself a great lightning card. But you're not going to be able to do that straight away. You either have to go the hard quest, slow build route, or wait for an event to come back or the card to be back on banner so you can build it up the normal way. What do you do in the meantime then? What I suggest doing in the meantime then is taking advantage of MR or less rarity cards that you're just going to get a ton of pulling, right? There are just a ton of MR cards that you're going to pull and you're like, I keep pulling this card and whatever. Hey, they're not bad. Some of those are very good. Say you pull Lightning Kitty right here, Coral. This card is very strong. In fact, in some top tier lightning element groups, you still take advantage of this MR card. There are also really good rainbow cards. Like if you want your team to go faster and you pull Chocobo, this gives a party ability of 10% agility up to your whole group. So just go through here, look at the stat line for the unit wearing it, and then look at the buff on the card and say, hey, you know, maybe I want to give my Prince Mont, maybe I want attack up for every person in my group, and I want to give my Prince Mont a little hate and slash attack up. Run Vow of Love. Find these cheaper cards that are easier to build and level, like Leonis Castle. This is a great example. Throw this on your tank. 15 defense, 15 spirit for an R rarity card. Just whatever you have built as placeholders is fine, especially ones with your initial like rainbow element, tank, healer, DPS team. These party abilities that affect the whole group that aren't specific to element are very nice. Now, there's also free cards that come out in this game, right? Like they're just going to be cards that are given away, like these anniversary cards that have, this has like generic rainbow magic up, rainbow attack up. This came out during the second anniversary. I doubt you get that if you're starting now, but there are cards that you will get from just logging into the game sometimes, like First Step Towards Glory. This is an example of one we just got for free, max HP up. I haven't leveled it because I don't need to, but I could finish this thing. In fact, I will before its banner goes away. We just got this Addison Ray vision card for free, all elemental attack up. That's really great for a rainbow group. Just pick and choose what you have to fill the void until you can play that long-term game, but take advantage of whatever's on banner. I think this part of the vision cards is running a little long. That's how you get vision cards. Now, Espers. Guys, Espers, this is the most overlooked part of team building by new players. Espers are huge. Like, let's take Odin, for example, here. Or, you know what? Let's take Scorpion Sentinel. This is Cloud's, this comes with the Scorpion Sentinel vision card. If you pull the Scorpion Sentinel vision card, you also get the Scorpion Sentinel Esper. It's a 2-for-1. And just by max leveling this thing and putting it on Cloud, he gets all of these stats. 1300 HP, 131 attack, 15 agility, Dex, AP, TP. A huge chunk of stats for your unit comes from the stats on your Esper. You got to get the resonance leveled to 10. Resonance just goes up as it takes 100 fights to get one resonance. So 1,000 fights will get you 10 out of 10, and that gives you all of the stats. Also, you get access to these boards on the Espers. So for Scorpion Sentinel, the Esper training board gives you these nodes you can unlock where you can get lightning attack up, slash attack up, water eater, machine killer, critical hit, critical damage, missile resist. Like there's so many great stats you can get from leveling up this Esper and its Esper nodes. Now, let's go back to pulling, because just like vision cards, one of the main ways you're going to get Espers is by summoning. This is probably my biggest new player tip out there. The single most valuable thing you can do with paid Visuor as a new player is when there are select UR vision card pulls or tickets, go select yourself a UR vision card that comes with an Esper. Get yourself that 2-for-1. Sure, you might really want the vision card Black Rose of the Battlefield. And yes, that's great. It's going to give you a rainbow agility buff to your group. But let me just tell you right now that Odin right here is going to be more valuable, because not only do you get the Odin vision card, you get the Esper too. And Odin is one of the best physical DPS Espers in this game. This would be one of my recommended targets. And now, what recently got added to these was Bahamut. Guys, hold on. Let me find Bahamut on here. I want him to be on the screen when I talk about it. There is Dragon King Bahamut. This is a top tier magic Esper, one of the best ones in the game, and it's a great vision card for your light element. This is phenomenal. Bahamut, highly recommend. Dark Odin, Anima, if you're running Dark. Dark Odin is a great like evade slash attack Esper. You cannot go wrong getting yourself regular Odin right here. Just, you're going to have to do a little research based on what your team needs. But when you have these select banners or tickets, I really highly recommend the Vision Card Esper combos, because now this is how you can get access to those really high level Espers that you can level up, and it just makes your team so much stronger. Okay, I think that's it. I think I've talked about the 4 ways that your teams gain power: unit level, right? Getting new units, leveling them up, getting gear, maxing it out, getting yourself Espers. I'm going to go ahead and just throw, let's throw Scorpion Sentinel on Cloud right here, and Vision Cards. I'll go ahead and throw Lightning's, Odin's Chosen Vision Card on here in the sub slot. That is the 4 ways your dudes get power. A lot of new players, they level up a unit all the way. They throw it with some like, they throw it with like 2 other units of their element, and they're like, man, I'm just losing all the time. What's wrong? You're probably just not maximizing those other areas where you gain power. Espers are one of the best short-term solutions for power, because once you have the Esper, all you need to do is build Resonance and level the thing up. One of the benchmarks, here's one way, if you want to judge, is my account on point? Like, am I powering it up? The answer to that question oftentimes lies in the Beast in my opinion. If you've pulled a new Esper for yourself, like let's say you've pulled, is Scorpion Sentinel still in here? Yeah, I'm sure it is. So let's say you've pulled, no, because it's a limited thing. So let's say you pulled Ramuh, and you want to level Ramuh for one of your mages. Can your team clear this unit level 90 Ramuh Battle Mission 2? You're going to have to do this to fully level up the Esper. So if your team can beat these fights, I think you're approaching the point where your team is like very capable of farming some of the hardest stuff in this game. It should be one of your goals. Get your Espers all the way leveled up. You're going to need XL Magicites to level up those Espers, and maybe I'll end the video talking about XL Magicites. Guys, there's so much to talk about here. I'm really trying my best to keep this to like under a 45-minute video by just giving some general tips. But like, let's go look at, is there a 5-step banner in here? Here's a 5-step banner. When new Vision Cards come out, and there's these 5-step banners for them, on step 2 of 5-step banners for new Vision Cards is often a select element Magicite XL times 100 summon ticket. As a new player, you want as much XL Magicite as you can get. This is the stuff that's going to make leveling your Espers doable. This is how you're going to do it. So it's worth throwing Visior at these step-up banners for these cards, even if you're only going to here to get these XL Magicites. You're going to want to find them. That's how you're going to be able to power up your team in a big way. Also, just keep your eyes open for select tickets in shops. So, for example, right now, well, it turns out right now there's not a good XL Magicite option, even for paid Visior in the like Black Friday shop, but you can go purchase them in the special shop right here. I believe it's like a weekly pack that has XL tickets in it, but like it's 24 bucks for 200 of them. That's pretty expensive. So I think it's better to just look for current like deals. In these limited packs, sometimes we will get new player packs. Those are almost always worth it. The new player packs are just where it's at. I buy every one of those I can. Let me see if there's like one in here right now. Yeah, starter special packs. Like these have a ton of goodies in them. I buy these every time I can get it. Doesn't have Magicite in that one. Still, it's a really good idea. Just keep your eyes open for XL Magicite and deals, and then I will always talk about the new stuff in shops every week and if I recommend them or not. So you can always just watch my Wednesday update videos if you want to see if there is a way of getting yourself some XL Magicites. Okay, I think this video has gone on for long enough. I really just wanted to let new players know you need to focus on all 4 of these areas to power up your account. Units, gear, Espers, and Vision Cards. That's how you go about acquiring all of them. That's how you go about like, that's kind of when you should level up all of them. There is so much detail about every one of those things. Each of those deserve its own video. If you want to see a video about anything specifically, let me know and I can try and answer that for you. I hope this guide hasn't been like too general to be useful. I'm so far removed from being a new player myself, it's hard to keep track. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you had a great holiday if you're watching this when it came out, or I just hope you're having a great time whenever you might be watching this. Welcome to War of the Visions. It's a great game. It has a great community. I'm happy you're here. See you later. Peace.